Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Verdict's In. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we are talking about the new HBO 12-part miniseries, I May Destroy You. First episode is entitled Eyes, Eyes, Eyes. So Gary, when we decided to watch this show, we watched the trailers, we kind of did a little research about what it was going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
What are your overall thoughts of the first episode, as well as what do you think we're going to see in this series? It's only 12 episodes.
Well, my immediate thoughts is the show's pretty damn good. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know what to expect. We know what happens, and we saw the previews, or we suspect what will happen.
Right.
But I'm not sure how it's going to happen or where it happened. But so far, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's because they're in that space that's like kind of a little bit past the everyday partying, even though they're out partying, they're having a good time. It's Simon's cousin's last night there.
Right.
But they're still they still have responsibilities. One of them is married. They have jobs. So they're kind of in that spot of like that adulthood spot where you're starting to get serious about adulthood.
I think if his cousin wasn't there, they would still be out.
You think they would have been out anyways?
They would have been out. Remember, he was going to be like the fourth wheel.
Yes. Yeah. Because him and Simon and his wife were going to be having, we'll get to that. All right, yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I see him then taking shots because that's what the trailer looked like. And then it was like, you see something went bad, and I immediately was like, Gary, I want to do this podcast. Because, and I don't want to get too much into it now, but I've seen firsthand girls like that in a club. I've seen it, and no one helping, just like it looks like no one was helping her. And the excuse is, well, they're drunk. Well, it doesn't matter if someone's drunk. You don't let them leave like that. The way she was leaving, we were like, wait, how's no one stopping this lady from leaving?
Right.
And people will get sexually assaulted and nothing happens because people say, well, you know, she shouldn't have drunk that much. And it's like, so getting drunk now excuses you to get raped literally in public, or, you know? So when I saw the trailer, I was like, I really want to see how they address this, and especially since it's based on her real life. This happened to her. Something similar like this happened to her back in 2016. So, really? Yeah. So I'm very proud that she was able to, like, do a show on her trauma. It was able to actually, like, you know, take something that was bad and be able to put it into art, and hopefully people will learn something from it. So we'll see.
We'll see.
But she's funny. She's a little comedian. So I think we're going to see some comedy aspects in it as well.
We already have.
Yeah. Especially when she was talking to the editors or whoever those guys were. And she's like, oh, and the lady's like, yeah, according to your IG page, she's like, oh, you mean my personal life?
Personal life.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing personal.
Right. Nothing's personal. If you put it on the internet, it's not longer personal.
Especially if you work for someone.
Right.
If you work for someone, there's nothing personal.
Yep. All right. So real quick, let's go over the characters. We have the leading star actress. Her name is Michaela Coel. You guys might know her from Chewing Gum. She was on Black Earth Rising. And then she was on 2 episodes of Black Mirror. And I remember her from one of them. Wasn't able to remember her from the second one. She was on Nosedive, the one where you have that social media. Yeah. I think he said she was just like someone in the airport, so she might not had a big scene. And then she was on USS Callister, which was just the last season, I believe, of Black Mirror.
Yeah, she was the flight attendant.
Yes.
No. She wasn't a flight attendant. She was the one who took the reservation.
Yes, it said
her on the plane.
Right, it did say that. Yeah. Yeah. So she plays Arabella in the show. She's the main, and not only does she play it, she wrote, directed. I mean, she does it all. She's the executive producer, and she did the same with Chewing Gum. So it's really good when you see people that are taking more charge of not just being in front of the camera, they're doing
but behind the camera.
Their camera, yeah,
ownership
of the whole thing, exactly. All right, and then we have Amel Amin, who plays Simon. You guys might recognize him from season 1 of Sense8, and then which is a Netflix series. And then he was also on Inside Man, Most Wanted, and Maze Runner.
Okay.
Yeah. When I looked up Inside Man, I was like, oh, yeah.
Maze Runner.
I seen Inside Man. I didn't remember him from Maze Runner, though.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just a few others real quickly. We got his wife, Kat, who's played by Laura Rossi. She's on a new show called The Watch, and she was also on Robin Hood, the movie. And then that little snake, Alyssa. I got some things to say about her. Alyssa's the threesome girl.
Why is she a snake?
Okay. We'll get to why she's a snake. But her name.
His wife, not the snake.
How's his wife? Whatever, Gary. So Alyssa, Ann Atkin plays Alyssa, aka the snake, and she's been on a show, I think it's a TV series called CB Strike. And then running out the list, we got Terry, who is the wife. Actually, no, Terry was her friend. So we'll see a little bit more of her. She looks so familiar, but when I looked her up, I did nothing that she was in. Like, she's on Bad Education, and her name is Waruchi Opia. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but she looked, you know who she reminded me of?
Who?
The mother from The Photograph, when they did the back scenes, the flashbacks. She reminded me of the lady that played the mother. She reminded me of the lady that played Roxanne, which may be the same lady that's on Photograph. Roxanne, that movie.
No, it's not the same lady.
I know it's not her, but that's who she looked like.
Okay.
At least I thought. And then we got Kwame, who is a very good friend, because he was the one that was in the office with her when she was on the phone with Simon. He was like, do not go.
You have work to do.
You have work to do. Ben,
it seemed like he didn't like Simon.
Yeah, because he kept throwing. He he was just like making all types of faces. So maybe we'll get to why he doesn't like Simon.
Right.
And then we have Ben, who is her roommate. And then last is Biagio, which is her situationship in Italy.
Her roommate.
Ben, I'm assuming it's her roommate. That when she was on the toilet, the only white person in this show so far, and she was hanging out with him.
No, I don't think that's his roommate. Or her roommate.
You don't think it's her roommate?
No, because she got up and left. He said, "Where are you going?" She said, "Yeah, I have to write this."
Yeah, she had to go to work. And then she came back to that same place at the end. Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Had to go to work.
Yeah, remember that when she got up to leave, she went to go write the paper.
Right, she went to go write the paper.
At the office.
Oh, I thought she went home.
No. Remember, that's why they had that little snack package there. And we're like, oh, Francine left her snack package.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so it starts off with her in Italy, and she is desperately like cringe embarrassing, which she later admits to her friends, trying to get this dude to kind of commit to something, put a title on that situationship.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. I was like embarrassed. I was like, girl, stop. She's like, so are you my boyfriend now? Am I going to see you again? Oh, you'll see me when you see me. Are you going to call? I'm like, girl, stop. I was embarrassed for her, but it was funny. It was cute.
It wasn't embarrassing.
It was embarrassing for her. I mean, clearly she wasn't embarrassed because she kept going.
Right.
And then the dude, I didn't like him because I'm like, damn, he gonna do her like that? He's like, oh, pretty much I'll see you when I see you. I'll call you when I call you.
I think that's what their relationship was.
Yeah.
I don't think that he wanted to change it third quarter.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we've been doing. This is your third time coming up here. Let's continue doing this. Obviously, he feels some type of way about her.
Yeah, because then immediately he does call her and say, like, don't forget the sea, because that they were at the beach a lot together. And she was actually technically supposed to be up there writing her book. And he didn't realize, no, she hadn't write anything because she'd been hanging out with him, going to the clubs, just having a ball. It was really like a vacation for her rather than like on her book. But immediately she gets home, everyone's hitting her up. Everyone knew when she was coming back, which I actually appreciated that, like having friends like waiting, knowing when you're coming back in town. Like, it shows that she has people that care about her.
She's the life of the party.
Yeah, she's the life of the party. But her managers are calling her, stressing her like, hey, we got about 4 days till we got to submit this in.
Well, let's be clear about who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably publishers.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably independent publishers that put their money up.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're the editors or publish. It could be the same thing.
It's a publishing company.
Yeah.
I don't know if they put their money up for this or if it's just a company, like a corporation or a big time editorial company.
I was thinking they were, because she kept calling them big fancy people to Ben. She's like, these are big time fancy people.
Yeah, you're right.
And he's like, oh, well, you did it on Twitter before. And she's like, no, this is the big leagues now, But Francine popped up on the phone. Did you think that was unprofessional that, like, he didn't tell, hey, it's two of us here, like when they had her on speaker? Or should she assume like it was just a business call? Yes, there might be other people involved. Like, what did you think of that?
I think she's a professional. You can't do anything unprofessional to an unprofessional person.
Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, literally, she was on the toilet, like rolling a joint while she talked to them. She was multitasking for real. Okay, yeah. But I when she was like, "Oh, Francine," I didn't realize there was 3 of us on the call. So she definitely, I don't think she cares too much for Francine. So we'll see if they dig a little bit more into that relationship. But we do notice, actually not at this point. So she says, "Hey, I'll go to the office. I'll do some writing." And then that's when Simon had already texted her before she even left Italy saying, "Come hang out." And then when she gets to the office, Simon calls her and says, "Come hang out." And she's like, "I gotta work.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to her actually meeting up with Simon, let's talk about Simon.
What about him?
Okay. So when we meet Simon and his wife Kat, I actually thought he was a good dude. Like, I first didn't understand what was happening. Like, they're talking about going hanging out, and then you realize they're talking about doing a threesome. And the wife seemed like she wanted to do it, but he didn't. But then she kind of like was said a little snide remark, like, "Oh, well, are you gonna keep her number for other reasons?" And you can see like Simon looks sad, like, "Damn, you gonna do me like that when you're the one that suggested this threesome?"
Yeah.
So I was feeling something like, damn, he's such a good dude. He doesn't want to do that. Like, his wife needs to just like kind of lay off him. And now I feel like kind of bamboozled. It's like you can never tell like who's the good guy, who's not, because you think Simon's a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, you think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why he's not a good guy.
You do realize what happened.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Simon meets up, wife, Alyssa comes.
Right.
Now, I didn't know Alyssa was coming back. So when I knew she was lying when she was like a family emergency. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Alyssa, that you weren't even acting good when you did that." Like, "Oh, I gotta go. Okay, I'll be right there."
To get out of it.
I thought she was trying to get out of it too.
Like, girl, call me at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Call me 30 minutes in, and if I get up like, ooh, I gotta go, then yeah.
But the thing is, she did all of that. And then text him afterwards saying, I told you she wouldn't suspect a thing. So that's why I'm calling Alyssa a snake. Because she sat here in this woman's face, smiled, asked questions, told her how she was going through depression, and then gonna sneak up and meet with her man afterwards on the low when they could have all hung out together.
Let's be clear. You know, I was joking when I said, why is Simon not a good guy?
Uh-huh.
Why is it her fault? She's not in that marriage. Why is she the snake?
Oh, well, Simon's a snake as well.
It's but not as well. This is not her marriage. She don't have any commitment to neither one of them. So
that is true.
So she's not a snake.
And she says she likes the drama. She's like, "I like the drama. I can never have been in an 8-year relationship. I, don't even sit around that long." So she might not even get the scope of a long-term relationship like that. But I feel like she's a snake because if she was going to do that, she shouldn't have even met up with him.
Well, first of all, the wife opened the door.
Mm-hmm.
You can't open the door for something like that. And I told you before about friends I had that opened that door and they got mad when the other person kept seeing the person.
Right.
I mean, you opened the door.
The thing is, though, even though we see the wife open the door, quote unquote, Simon was way too comfortable. This was not his first rodeo. This was not his, "Oh, I'm nervous, I'm about to cheat on my wife."
Well, there's a backstory to it. Maybe there was infidelity. Or maybe he told her about a threesome and she was like, "You know what? I want to give that to you." There's more to the story than we know. But you cannot open that door and you cannot blame it on the innocent girl. And I say innocent girl because she doesn't have commitment. She's not committed to the wife.
All right.
This is her first time meeting the wife.
Yeah, it may not be her first time meeting Simon.
May not be.
Probably not.
But this is the first time meeting the wife, so you can't expect her to have any kind of loyalty to her. Yeah. They're not friends.
That's true. All right, so Arabella, she puts 1 hour on her timer. She's like, "I'm going to take a 1 hour break." Have you ever done this? Not necessarily go out, but have you ever said, "I'm going to just take a 1 hour break. I'm going to do a 1 hour nap," and the 1 hour always goes past the 1 hour?
Always.
You go 15 minutes. You put extra 15 minutes on there. Maybe extra 30.
Yeah.
So I knew as soon as she went out, I was like, "Okay, girl." But you could tell her and Simon are genuinely good friends.
Yeah.
When they meet, I mean, she is the life of the party, though. Because when she met up with Kwame, it was excitement. When she met up with Terry, when she saw Ben, everyone that sees her, even people on the street recognize her. So she's semi-famous at this point. Like 2 women in this episode recognize her.
Right. She wrote a Twitter book or a Twitter story.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love those.
And like they literally recited. And there's been a few years, or at least for me, it's been a few years since I've seen a good Twitter story. Like one of those threads that go so long.
I think the last one I seen was about, and this was a true story. The last one I seen was about the dorm party where the girls got into it and a flood happened during it. I guess they got into a fight and somebody broke a pipe and the whole building flooded.
I think I did see that. Wasn't there a video of that one?
Yeah, there's a video.
Okay. Now, the last good Twitter story I saw read was when the girl, she was friends and they had a stripper and they went to like a different city to go strip. And
that was a good one.
That was like a whole good ass story. She needs to go ahead and like seal that up into a little mini book because that was good.
So that up into a mini series.
Yeah, into a mini series. That was good. Because I still remember that was years ago. So yeah, some creative people out there. But yeah, like she's just the life of the party. Everyone loves her. And we see they go and get shots and she's like, okay, I got to work. And he said when she goes, she steps outside, I believe, take a cigarette break. And then when she comes back, they were already outside, right? And then when she comes in, that's when he's like, hey, I introduce you to a new friend of mine. And it was like some guy that they just met.
Yeah.
Sitting there, a black guy. But then, and Alyssa was also there, but then the guy that comes over to bring all the shots was this white guy that was also hanging out and dancing with him the whole night. And we've watched the episode a couple times, and I noticed when they're dancing out there, oh, that's what it was. Remember, they first went to the karaoke spot. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a good time. But afterwards, when they go to the bar
she
spot,
Little Wayne truffle butter.
Yes, yeah. She's a life party. Everyone loves her. But when they were dancing at the bar scene, that's where you see that there is a white gentleman that brought them the shots, and like she kind of bumps into him, and he does stare at her a little.
Yeah.
And then, well, of course, I was gonna say I don't want to blame him, but he is the one that was, at least in her flashback when she had the flash at the end, was the one that was raping her.
Okay.
Gary, are you not gonna call it rape?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
I have to see more.
We'll have to see more. I'm gonna assume that it is rape based on the trailer and based on her not having any memory. I mean, it is possible that she wasn't drugged. It's possible that she just drank a lot and forgot. But the fact that she couldn't even remember how to get home the next day was troubling. The fact that she had a bruise on her head was troubling. And I do think there needs to be some accountability for these bars. I mean, I know that people are adults and no one wants to be like, leave me alone. But I do think there needs to be accountability to the bars.
If someone drugs someone, the bar needs to be accountable for it.
No. But the way she was leaving that bar, I mean, she dropped over all the straws, everything. She's falling to the ground. How did they not see that?
Well, let's say they saw it. And let's say that he stepped in, the guy who she was with, who she saw her memory or whatever. Let's say he stepped in and say, you know what? I got her from here. I got her. We don't know what happened to the point or from the point she got to the door to the point she got home.
That is true. But
she could have been stopped. Someone could have said something. But you know what? Bystanders never say anything. Like people who just sitting at a table or they're enjoying themselves also, they're not going to say, oh, hey, you get a little too drunk. Let me stop you there.
Well, that's where I mean, yeah, you're right. Well, but I disagree with you because the story I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, where last year, literally in 2019, I was at a club, saw a girl super drunk, barely could stand. No one was helping her. Guy touching up on her. I was the only one that said something. I did intervene. So there are people that will intervene and say something.
Like you said, you're the only one. What did the people say that was with you?
They're like, mind your business, Nicole. It's her fault she got drunk. And I'm like, this is 2019 and y'all are millennials. Y'all are supposed to be the ones that like do things differently. I was shocked that I was the only one that made it that seemed to do something. Even the security, it got security. Nah, she's just drunk. That's why I'm saying that there needs to be some accountability with these bars, with these clubs, because this type of stuff shouldn't happen. So yes, you're right. If the guy did go up and help her, I'm like, oh, I got her. I don't know. I still feel like there needs to be some level, something.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think a bar should be held accountable for someone having too many drinks. Someone ordering. You're an adult.
Once again, what if someone gets what if someone is date raped, or what if they're getting drugged? So there does need to be some accountability. Make sure your people come.
How's that the bar fault that someone got drugged?
I'm not saying it's their fault, but they do need to be making sure people can all walk out on their own accord.
I said drug. I mean drugged.
No problem.
It's not their fault if they get drugged or drugged. If a fight happens, it happens.
We knew what you meant. My point is that there does need to be some accountability. If people cannot walk out of an establishment upright on their own, then the bar needs to sit them down. They need to call something. Call for someone.
Well, a lot of bars say this is it. That you're cut off. But the thing about drinking is when you're drunk, it's too late. Once you're drunk,
they need to hold drunk people. If they're passed out.
Some people can hold their liquor until they're drunk.
Yeah.
That they don't know when enough is enough.
Yeah.
They start feeling, oh, give me another drink. Oh, I'm not feeling this. Give me another drink.
That's me. I don't feel it until it's too late. I'm like, oh, shit.
Now it's too late.
Yeah.
Now you can't stand.
No, but that's my point. And maybe that would change the way that society takes alcohol and that we, consume alcohol, because no, if you cannot stand up on your own while you leaving this place, you're not leaving. Sit tight.
And I think they are doing that. They'll take your keys. There's a lot of things they do.
Yeah.
Bars. But like I said, we don't know the story.
So we'll have to see. But I'm interested to see, because seeing what we saw in this first episode, her walking out the door and nobody stopping. Forget about Good Samaritans. What about the people in the establishment? Did not do anything. So, yeah, I do feel that there's some responsibility on them.
The first thing someone to say, like, ooh, I'm trying to get like that.
Ain't nobody trying to say like they trying to get like that. Because every time I see people like that, I be like, damn, like I judge.
Get on her level.
I be like, y'all drink too much. Like I have a friend that every time we go out, I'm like, she needs that. And I'm like, girl, you being extra. Either I don't know if she being extra, or she really is like over the top drunk, like every single time like that. But and once again, not judging, because you never know, someone was drugged. So there needs to be stop, like, how they say slut shaming. There needs to stop being drunk shaming by saying, oh, well, if they're drunk, that's their own fault. Let them do what they did. You just, no.
It depends. See if you went out and you just got messed up one time, maybe twice. But if this your MO, every weekend or every time we go out, we have to carry you home.
Yeah.
There's a problem.
Yeah. I know someone like that.
I'm going to drink shame you.
I'm a drink shame, yeah. But I will see what happens. I don't want to get too serious, but the show seems like it's going to have a little laughs, but it's going to have some probably some sad moments as well. So Hopefully she gets her memory back. And the fact that she already took a shower or washed off, like all the evidence is gone. So that's something else. And if you guys are interested in like learning or not seeing the effects of sexual assault just a little bit more, there's a show on Netflix. I want to say it's Unbelievable. I'll have it for sure the next episode we have, but it was so good. I want to say it's Unbelievable, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's on Netflix, and they did such a good job showing the effects of sexual assault and then not being believed for being sexually assaulted. So hopefully that does not happen with her. It seems like more should kind of be based on the trailer that she might be in denial that it happened.
Maybe.
Because no one wants that to have happened to him, because no one believes people anymore, too.
Well, not really. Well,
yes, no one wants it to happen to him, period.
Yeah, period.
But the shame of it all, and then not being believed.
And I believe it is shameful. And not only not being believed, but it's shameful because you're like, how did I let this happen to me?
Right. Yeah. Because like the girl at the club, she probably woke up the next day, and instead of maybe thinking I need to go file a police report, she probably washed off and said, I'm so embarrassed that I got that drunk. rather than thinking just because I got drunk does not mean I'm allowed to get sexually assaulted. And that's what I just want to make clear.
Right.
But all right, that's all we got, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be coming out every Wednesday. If you guys want to give us your feedback on the episode, hit us up, host@theverdictsend.com. That is HOSTS @theverdictsend.com. You can also hit us up, on Twitter @theverdictsend, and we will discuss your feedback on the podcast. So hopefully everyone's doing well. We won't be discussing any of the current events because this is your escape. So come here if you want to escape for about 20-30 minutes to hear us talk about a TV show.
I mean, we may say some real shit from time
We
to
might
time.
say some real shit. You never know. Every day stuff changes. So I might get on here next week and not talk anything about this show. No, but hit us up. And if you want to hear more stuff, we're not podcasting any other shows right now. So we're thinking of doing some old 90s. I've been talking to Gary about doing some old 90s shows. But we'll see. So let us know what you want to hear, and we'll podcast on it pretty sure if we can. All right. Take care. I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.